The hypocrisy of the developed economies is astounding. They demand a carbon tax from the developing world, but don't implement one themselves. Hey guys, what's up? You're watching the Amuse World, and today we're going to be talking about the hypocrisy of the developed economies when it comes to climate change. Specifically, their demand for a carbon tax from the developing world while they don't implement one themselves. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you never miss an update from us in the future. Stay tuned as we uncover the hypocrisy of developed nations. Hypocrisy of rich nations. The world's elite fly in on private jets to give lectures to humanity about reducing carbon emissions during annual global climate meetings, which feature a parade of hypocrisy. The United Nations Climate Change Conference, held in Egypt in November of last year, however, displayed even more astounding hypocrisy than usual, as the wealthy nations of the world zealously lectured developing nations about the dangers of fossil fuels while consuming enormous amounts of new gas, coal, and oil themselves. Wealthy nations have been searching the globe for new energy sources ever since Russia's invasion of Ukraine caused energy costs to soar even higher. At the Glasgow Climate Summit in 2021, the UK fiercely opposed fossil fuels, but this winter, rather than closing down nearly all of them as originally intended, coal-fired stations will remain operational. Italy is gearing up to import 40% more gas from northern Africa. Germany is returning to coal-fired power plants. Thermal coal imports by the European Union from Australia, South Africa, and Indonesia increased more than 11-fold, and a new trans-Saharan gas pipeline will allow Europe to access gas directly from Niger, Algeria, and Nigeria. Additionally, the U.S. is assisting Saudi Arabia in increasing oil output. The leaders of these wealthy nations urged the world's poorest people to avoid using fossil fuels and instead concentrate on green energy options like off-grid solar and wind energy during the climate summit in Egypt. In fact, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stated it would be delusional for nations to invest more in gas and oil exploration in a speech that was largely misconstrued as being about Africa. But the exploitation of fossil fuels is responsible for the current prosperity of every prosperous nation. Furthermore, green energy, the elite solution for the world's impoverished, is unable to change people's lives. This is so that solar and wind energy can't be used at night or when there isn't any wind. Off-grid solar energy can produce light, but it usually isn't enough to power a family's refrigerator or oven, much less the power needed by communities to run everything from farms to factories, which are the main drivers of economic growth. Additionally, one of the primary energy issues facing the world's poor is unsolvable by the utilization of solar and wind power. Due to their need to use unclean fuels like wood and dung to cook and stay warm, about 2.5 billion people continue to experience indoor air pollution. To power clean stoves and heaters, solar panels must be stronger. Grid electrification, in contrast, which is almost universally powered primarily by fossil fuels, has large beneficial effects on household income, spending, and education. The worst farce. The worst farce. The worst farce of all is that wealthy world leaders have managed to present themselves as eco-evangelists, despite the fact that, according to the International Energy Agency, more than 3/4 of their massive primary energy production still comes from fossil fuels. Less than 12% of their energy is generated by renewable resources, with water and wood making up the majority. Solar and wind power account for just 2.4%. Contrast this with Africa, the world's most renewable continent, with half of its energy coming from renewable sources. These renewables, however, are primarily made of wood, straw, and dung, and actually serve as a reminder of how little energy is available in a continent. Despite all the buzz, only 0.3% of the continent's energy comes from solar and wind sources. Rich countries must spend considerably more money on research and development of superior green technologies, such as solar and wind energy with enormous batteries, fusion, fission, and second-generation biofuels in order to combat global warming. The key realization is to lower their real cost below that of fossil fuels. In this manner, everyone will ultimately change. However, it is insulting to advise the world's poor to put up with unstable, expensive, and inadequate power. It has become clear that the hypocrisy of the developed economies is disgraceful. Claiming to be in support of global solutions to climate change, while failing to address the emissions within their own borders is a violation of trust. Carbon taxes should become an integral part of all developed economies and global polluters so that we can finally make progress in preventing the looming climate disaster. It is time for us to take responsibility and get it right this time. Do you guys agree? Let us know in the comments. If you found the video to be knowledgeable, then make sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.